Mike's Daily Podcast
2060. It is Mike Matthews back. I told you I'd be back really soon. So here's another download.
Mike's Daily Podcast
for you. Hey, and the microphone smells like a beer. No, it smells like Clorox. Someone Lysoled the microphone? Awesome. Some of my earliest radio memories is Lysoled microphones. Just so you know, it's awesome memories in my head at
Mike's Daily Podcast.
5:31 in the morning, waking up at around 4. I'm going to keep you informed when I wake up.
Mike's
4:13.
Daily.
Yes.
Podcast.
I woke up and I make it so I don't have to do a dang thing when I leave in the morning. I grab my smoothie out of the fridge, which is no longer a smoothie in the smoothiest sense of the word. It is now a warm smoothie. the little ice crystals have melted, and then I'm off driving down Mission in Hayward, where parts of Hayward get a little dicey. I remember one time driving to Fremont, going through Hayward and seeing somebody in the middle of the night had, I guess, crashed into a bunch of parked cars, just sideswiped like 6 cars, and then was gone. And I'm driving by and I'm seeing all these sideswiped cars at like 4:30 in the morning. I was, whoa. And then there's the deer. Then there's like a deer walking down the street. Maybe the deer did it. Things get a little crazy in Hayward, I have to say. Hayward is the heart of the Bay and the heart of all kinds of insanity. And there's some good parts. I know a lot of people that live in Hayward. Castro Valley is practically Hayward. They touch. And so, whatever. Just things go crazy in the East Bay sometimes. And that's all right because you know what?
And here's today's podcast picture.
I'm hoping we learn from all this. And we still live in a beautiful area. We are close to all these amazing places. We can be up in the hills in a matter of minutes, walking on beautiful trails, seeing the redwoods, seeing deer, wild turkey, wild boar. Wild boys! Don't visit! Wild boys! I can't think of the Duran Duran song right now. Never heard this way, wild boys! Oh, I was in such a Live Aid mood last weekend. I was watching when Howard Jones was on Live Aid. David Bowie, Basil the Boxer. Basil was at Live Aid. No, he wasn't, but Basil the Boxer says to you, you should watch YouTube and watch concerts all day, since you can't go out to concerts at the moment. Although the phases are coming through, right? The different phases, right? I always have to point out to myself, why do you go, right?
Really?
I know.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Okay, let's see. I cannot even open my eyes. How did I get here if I can't open my eyes? Let's see.
Phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, phase 3, profit.
So I don't know if we're in phase 3 or phase 1. Phase 2. He says phase 3, profit. And what phase we're in Alameda County, we had like a spike of coronavirus. So I think we are not moving into any other phases at this point. Sonoma County, I think, is in phase 3. And in San Francisco today, you can eat out on a patio, outside patio area of a restaurant. That is allowed now, with, of course, social distancing and everything. So meanwhile, in Florida, remember when Governor, is it DeSantis? Isn't he the governor of Florida? He gets up there with Trump, who said something like,
the United States.
Or maybe he was talking about the United States. Who knows what that was. But he said, this is a model governor. He's opening up Florida. He's, nobody ever told me
that politics was going to be so much fun.
So he's opening up Florida. Here's the governor of Florida. And Governor DeSantis is like, yeah, we're opening up Florida. And then he did. And you know what? They had 1,700 cases yesterday? So that maybe was not the best idea. Let's take a look. Let's go to so far they have over 69,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. They have had 2,848 deaths. But they did have a spike. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was 1,698 coronaviruses reported yesterday. A spike. A question mark. Was it a smart idea to open up when he did? Could they have waited a little more time? Is the state a little too, hey, let's all mingle like nothing happened, like there's not a very a disease that wants to jump into our bodies? Here's a story that popped out today. Alarming rise in virus cases at states that have rolled back the lockdown. States are rolling back lockdowns, but the coronavirus isn't done with the U.S. It says here, alarming rise in coronavirus cases at states that have rolled back the lockdowns. And I think they mentioned Texas, or Houston had to go back into lockdown in Texas, and then Arizona had. So that's an interesting story today. Also, the Starbucks reportedly won't let employees wear Black Lives Matter attire. Black-owned coffee shops in the U.S., you can visit us as alternatives to Starbucks, they are saying. And then there is a Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese, the Italian mouse. Is pizza really Italian? I mean, its roots are in Italy, but then America did all kinds of crazy things with pizza. I have heard real Italians in Italy, when you talk to them and you show them an American pizza, they're like, yeah, okay. Not exactly, but all right. But anyway, Chuck E. Cheese approaches bankruptcy and could have to close its stores. Did you ever go? Everyone's been in a Chuck E. Cheese at least once. I don't even think of the pizza in a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't think that was even food. It was just a prop. I always remember that one thing for the kids with the balls, the big plastic balls. Hey, I've got a bin full of plastic tennis balls. Why did they just take a bunch of old tennis balls and throw it into a box and tell the kids to play around in that? You could swim through all these plastic balls. That's not going to happen anymore. Is somebody going to disinfect every single ball with Lysol? I don't think so. Meanwhile, Mike Pompeo denies impropriety in firing the State Department watchdog. And Pompeo confident emerges as enforcer in fight over watchdog's firing. And that's basically all of that. Yesterday, I realized I had to get up at the 4:13 or so in the morning, so I tried to go to bed early. However, my roommate likes to talk, let's just say. So then I'm looking at the clock, and it's now 10 o'clock. It's 11, and I'm getting up at 4. This ain't gonna work. So, yes. Sometimes it's better to live. I think if you want to have an early job, you need to be a loner, live alone. But then I've done that, and there's pluses and minuses to everything. One of the things Garth Brooks talked about, and there's so much philosophy, so much stuff that you could pull from and apply to your life as helpful to your health, to your mental well-being, to life in general. Just watching Mr. Garth Brooks talk on that Netflix special. And one of the things he does is he talks about things that everything, I think he heard this from his dad. His dad was a big influence in his life, and he was the source of a lot of anxiety for him. He was very tough on all of his, I guess there was 6 kids altogether in his household, because the parents were basically from former marriages, so they brought 2 kids. It was like Brady Bunch. And Garth was the youngest of the family. And his dad tells him everything that's a blessing is also a curse. So he said, Garth was saying, oh, here I am, I've got all this fame, but now I've got no privacy. Everything is a blessing and a curse. So it's good to, if you want to live alone, you can wake up, go to bed, whatever, not be disturbed. But at the same time, it's nice to have someone to talk to, isn't it? Conversation, it's good. And they say that the people that live the longest have really good, strong social circles of some kind. Strong family, a lot of friends. That's all I have to say today at Mike's Daily Podcast, MikesDailyPodcast.com. Look who's out here right now. Right here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? I brought my horse Nelly. She's my social circle and my social bubble. That's right. We have social bubbles now. You are allowed to have a social bubble in Podcastro Valley. You pick 8 friends, and you make sure that they're not sick with coronavirus, infected and not showing signs, no temperature, their temperature has to be normal. And then you can hang out with them, and they're part of your social bubble. Look who else is here.
Hey, it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player telling you what.
What?
I'm going to be, socializing with whoever I want. And yeah, Benita keeps me up all night talking my ear off about everything she knows and stuff. But I just fall asleep, and then in my dreams, she's talking to me in my dreams, and suddenly I have scary dreams, and there's all kinds of strange things, like a porky pig.
Wow, those dreams do sound interesting. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. I'm going to pour you some right now. I'll drink it right now. I'll cut you. Oh, boy.
I will drink it now, or you'll cut me. Thank you. The podcast picture today. Oh, was I supposed to do that? I guess that's something I do on every show. Which, oops, I forgot. Well, it's going to be something good. Hey, Lady Antebellum has dropped... Oh, we talked about that. They've dropped the Antebellum because it can have some bad connotations in the world. I'm going to do this picture. Yesterday I went to Oakland. I went to Lake Merritt. And I'll say this about Lake Merritt. They need to pick up the trash. The trash cans, nobody's emptying them. Trash is scattered everywhere. It looks terrible. That's not really in the podcast picture, just the lake itself, which is actually I think it's called a tidal pond, a tidal lagoon. It's getting water from the ocean. It's not actually getting water from the mountains, like the typical definition of a lake. That's what I heard. So yes, you can see that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com from yesterday. Oakland, still a lot of stuff boarded up, and then there's graffiti on top of the plywood, which is, at least they didn't graffiti the glass that's behind the plywood, or break the glass, or maybe they did break the glass, you don't really know. And then there's a lot of restaurants around where my lovely lady friend works that are still closed up. No curbside at all, just closed. So that's disheartening. But it's a very resilient area, the Bay Area. And I think somehow things will come back to normal. And we're already being able to eat outside on patios in San Francisco. And then there's, who knows what other phases. Phase 3 will have profit. Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thank you for listening to FF episode 2060.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!